I found this article on Bleeding Cool. This is going to be just going to take a look at the Bleeding Cool article, but I'm going to release another video after this about what's going on from what I've observed, my perspective. This is Ethan Van Sciver puts war campaign on blast. If you've been following along with what's been going on, Edwin Boyette going to try to put an end to the idea that anyone should ever have to accept abuse, bullying, or harassment to participate in a comic book fandom today. But I need your help. You have to stand up and communicate that you refuse to accept it. A big kerfluffle went down late last night as the War Campaign online group of LARPers and Ethan Van Sciver worshippers, that might be a little bit strong, were accused of having engaged in bullying and possible doxing conspiracies against indie comic creators and fans. When evidence of private messages were provided to successful comic creator Ethan Van Sciver, he threw down the gauntlet and demanded all the evidence be provided. Ethan then insisted that members of War Campaign, who have up until now been completely publicly zealously loyal to him, to stand down. We've got evidence that some members of War Campaign were plotting in private to dox their enemies and allow the blame to fall on me. Further evidence, send it my way. Earlier this week, the group's official leader, Ro Kabir, who has a book on Indiegogo, which is available, Vestige, check it out, was suspended from Twitter for harassment. Screenshot evidence was provided, indicates he has frequently been a provocateur in bullying Comicsgate allies and other independent creators by mocking them with degrading images. That is true. However, if you're not familiar with Twitter, it's very, very easy to get suspended, so don't let that, being suspended from Twitter is not, don't let that prejudice the argument. Of course, he's back on Twitter, just not under that name. Perhaps the strongest rebukes are the accounts of two of the indie creators that we have featured on this very website. The first being George Alex Polopoulos, I'll check him out in a minute, who wrote the following thread on his Twitter last night. I write this all at great risk to my currently running campaign. I hope at least this stands as a testament to my sincerity that I'm willing to put it on the line to expose behavior that may put the entire community at risk. Indie comics is bigger than this. I can give exact dates and times if needed. War Campaign called it a tribunal. It was one of the most brutal conversations I've had in my entire 15-year career, filled with creepy accusations against me for defending a fellow creator. It was a simple ambush. Yeah, I've seen War Campaign do that to, I saw him do it to John Delarose. And if you're gonna have these kind of things where you have a panel on with a bunch of people, you got to tell the panel to at least be polite, treat the guests with respect, so people can act like adults and have a open and honest dialogue. When they dogpile on people, it's not a good look. And conversely, as an example, when people occasionally SJWs will go on Ethan's show and he'll have a full panel, but most of the panel is very calm and very respectful. They know not to dogpile on someone. And I've seen War Campaign do that, and that's just a minor thing. It's easy to correct. Creepy accusations against me. By the time I realized what was going on, it was already over. I walked into it thinking I'd be speaking to rational people. It was very creepy. I hope they publish it, but it would make them look very bad. Since then, members of War Campaign have reminded me of that night. Phrases like, I'm listening, you're being aggro, have been repeated at me because that's what I said when they took turns interrogating me. There were dozens of people listening to that conversation. I'm still told by people that they heard it live that they were there. Ro Kabir asked me to talk to him personally that night, then baited me into talking to all the War Campaign at once. It was a trap. My crime was defending Brad Ashworth against unfair accusations. By taking a side, I was also accused of many nasty things, including running a Indiegogo campaign to collect names and addresses. None of this had any basis in truth, but I was so blindsided I could hardly respond. I believe some members of War Campaign have personality disorders. Yeah, it's probably true. And that their group is a front for people who just want to hurt other people under the basis of helping consumers. I'm convinced they want to control the community through intimidation, coercion, and threats. This is not to sell mid-low ranking members. It's funny to think of that. Comicsgate has really grown and having some growing pains. They don't all know what's going on. However, I believe they have heard and seen disturbing things that they've been afraid to speak out about because they know what the group is capable of. I know a few people in War Campaign who are very nice and just want to feel camaraderie and safety in numbers. I bear them no animosity or ill will. However, watching the events of these past few months, I'm convinced something strange is going on within the ranks of that group. Many of us creators have been speaking behind the scenes. We all agree that War Campaign, or rather its leadership, are the greatest deterrent from Comicsgate as a community. Okay. If War Campaign is doing anything that may scare customers away, you gotta realize Comicsgate is a multi-million-dollar industry involving dozens of creators who are trying to get their product. They're trying to get their book sold, trying to get their book funded. I mean, for a lot of people, making comics is a dream come true. They've always wanted to make comics. And, I mean, the gatekeepers at Marvel and DC, I mean, I remember when Nasser asked, he asked someone at Image about getting a job, and I think they told him to disassociate from Comicsgate, or he wouldn't be welcome in the industry. That's the industry. The industry is controlled by far left ideologues. Comicsgate is an alternative to that, and we should be as welcoming as we possibly can to anyone who wants to get involved or wants to spend some money and buy some comics. There's no need to scare away customers. Anyone who speaks out against them openly, they're swarmed. But as Ed Boyette pointed out, enough is enough. I don't know if War Campaign should be openly disavowed by EVS. They consider them their Caesar, but I've seen and heard so much about their behavior, I think it would be appropriate to completely detach from any group they're associated with. I've been so happy to network 90% of all of you. I love making comics. Well, we'll take a look at your comic in a minute. However, because of the bullying behavior of a few possible sociopaths, I've been tempted to walk away from CG on a number of occasions. There are other creators like Doug 10 Naple. It's Doug 10 Naple. Who, oh, stop it, dog. Stop it. Hold on. Sorry, that was a doggus interruptus, who've already done so. Members of War Campaign are proven to be engineers of rumors, and I'd be very curious to hear how many internal crises have been engineered by them. They tried to do it with me, likely waiting for me to step out of line before dropping the hammer. Anyway, this soliloquy is long enough. I'm grateful for all my readers and friends I've made. I don't know what the consequences will be of my stepping forward, but I want the bullying to stop. We can no longer be silent when we see unacceptable behavior around us. You should have named your book and your campaign. I mean, always advertise. Always take any free advertising you possibly can. We can't defend antisocial behavior of our allies just because they're on our side. True enough. There are people out there who just love fighting, who will use any excuse to cause it. Gives them pleasure, and it's been profitable too. Anyway, that's what I swear at the deep south of my career, that I never breach anyone's customer's privacy with anyone. I will never support doxing. If Mary Sue takes a hit because of it, that's his book's name, Mary Sue, so be it. I refuse to stand by in silence when I see good people get slandered and ganged up on. I'm publicly saying I believe War Campaign is intentionally working against the interests of Comicsgate. There are creepy power plays going on behind the scenes, including intentional coercion and defamation. Yeah, they post pictures of people with dildos in their mouth and stuff, and if you want to attack the big powerful comics people in Marvel and DC and Image and whatever, Valiant, go ahead. You want to go after the Tim Doyles or the Mark Wades. Okay, those people are voluntary public figures who have voluntarily inserted themselves into the public dialogue and discourse, and they have resources. They have huge platforms with which they can defend themselves. But if you're going after or hassling small creators or people with small YouTube channels just because you don't like them, no. Stop that. That has no place. Calling the leadership of Comicsgate to rebuke War Campaign's behavior. I encourage members who've seen bad internal behavior to step forward as well. If this post somehow leads to strange rumors about me, I hope all of you give me the benefit of the doubt. Okay, I can remember to check that, guys. Thinking Critical. Don't know who some of these people are. War Campaign will do more damage to Comicsgate than the Dark Roast could ever do. Mark my words. I don't think the Dark Roast ever did that much damage, calling Heather Antos a cum dumpster, because it's funny, one of the peoples who were attacking Comicsgate because of calling Heather Antos a cum dumpster, they went around and then they called Nasser a cum rag or something like that. So they are guilty of which they complain. Comicsgate means two different things to pros and consumers. That is a year-old tweet. Interesting. Brad Ashworth is the artist he defended. I don't know who he is. What is he selling? We'll take a look at him also. Sunday, I got harassed by War Campaign for hiring an editor for some text on my campaign page. I was on my Kyrie Press with Tyler, my writer. At the end of the show, he said, if you mess with War Campaign, you are effed, not you're effed. Say goodbye to EVS and such, because War Campaign mods are all the big shows. Okay. Hiring an editor. And it was, I don't understand, there's a wrong editor, someone they didn't approve of. I went on Cecil's stream next and got followed by War Campaign, making trouble in the chat when I was on. Ended up with refunding money on the first day because of the lies. I had no idea what to do or deal with. I reached out to Malin, who replied, you need to deal with it yourself. That's not good. I reached out to Cecil for help or guidance, got no reply, just blew me off. Well, he was probably drunk. Edwin Boyette asked me to turn the other cheek, which I could not do, because, yeah, you're selling a product. Doug Tenaple was the only pro who reached out to me on the Comicsgate side, and he listened and went to bat for me. My name was being dragged through the mud. He stood up and helped me out. I saw when were labels. I saw that where the labels of Comicsgate and War Campaign got me, so I left Comicsgate, will not wear the label again. If Comicsgate is going to cower to bullies and not stand up to them, then it's not the place for me. EVS found out about all the drama. He tried to promote my book. What's the name of it again? You should always promote your book. He should say, he tried to promote my book, Jawbreakers. Always sell. But War Campaign came down hard on him for it, and EVS, Malin, and Antonio could not sell one copy on the stream. War Campaign were just going after him, saying I was doxing people. While I still hold the original ideals of Comicsgate, I will not wear the badge again, done with labels. Doug Tenaple says he left Comicsgate over similar War Campaign harassment. Other notable Comicsgate affiliate artists, such as Mike S. Miller, have not only been backing away from the group, but sometimes battling with members of War Campaign themselves. So we'll take a look at this too. Edwin Blame Ace Acevedo. War Campaign wasn't the ones on a stream chastising people about if they kept being mean. Comicsgate was going to denounce them. That was all Heaven's Gate. Mike S. Miller is an interesting character, and I like Mike, and I like his art. But he's a little hard for some people to take. Ro was on yesterday, and Gar and Pan were all rooting, gatekeeping, and policing each other. You turn a blind eye out of loyalty. I respect your loyalty, but how about being honest? EVS mostly stayed out of it. They are well-meaning but zealous. Other times he defended them. Mostly harmless. You know about the EVS Doug Tenaple thing? EVS is having fun on Twitter, but does he need to be on Twitter? I mean, I don't think Twitter contributes to sales. Maybe it's a tiny percent, but the amount of time spent on Twitter, there's no way you get that in money out. For these big creators, I think YouTube is the absolute number one way to sell your books. I don't even think Facebook or Instagram come close. At least not for Comicsgate, not what I've seen. Anyway, he wants him to cut ties with War Campaign. And there's a claim that War Campaign was using EVS to attack Comicsgaters. Pan, the soy child, he was on the show tonight. Julius Caesar is assassinated, yada, yada. Let's see if he offers War Campaign mercy, demands they cut out the toxicity, or simply cut ties them altogether. I'm sure a simple warning to War Campaign to just, cool it with attacking the same side. That's just a circular firing squad. We don't need to. Okay, here's the thing about there's a lot of people in Comicsgate, say 100,000 people in Comicsgate, and then say there's 10,000 hardcore fans who are buying the book. Maybe 10,000 to 20,000 people who are occasionally buying books. And there are, we're never going to sell books to SJWs or NPCs. And they're never going to come on the shows. They're never going to watch. SJWs are never going to be a part of Comicsgate. However, there are people who are just kind of normies, and there are even people who are left of center, who are around the periphery of Comicsgate, and who are interested in some of the projects. They may not politically be aligned with Comicsgate, which is generally, I'd probably right of center, but there's no need to scare them off. There's no need to insult them. No need to. I mean, if they want to jump in here and buy some books, there's just absolutely, we need to support everyone who wants to buy these books. So how is this divisiveness helping fans? It's not helping people. All it does is make Renfamous laugh. Doug TenNapel, the North Star that everyone should be about is comics, period. If you don't like drama, go back to the campaign that desperately needs you right now. I don't know what that one is. I think Critical. Denal's project seems to end in a large amount of drama. That's why I backed the two Dougs. Less drama, more focus on quality stories. And this is articles by Jameson Ashley. Okay, so like I promised, let's take a look at George Alexopoulos. Very, very Greek. Cartoonist. I don't know what a cartooner is. Made his debut in 2004. Drawing comics, his graphic novel Paris won an international manga award. It's not MAGA. Award in 2013. His latest book is Problematic, which is publishing through Indiegogo this year. Check out Indiegogo Project's The Problematic Collection. Find more of his work. Okay, let's take a look at the Indiegogo Problematic Collection. Okay, it's closed, and it didn't get funding. It only got $3,600. That sucks. I don't know what it's about. Let's take a look. Got 3 campaigns. $3,600 is not enough. You need about $30,000 to $40,000 to really be solidly profitable. No perks. Okay. Signed book, $30. That's a shame. That really is a bummer. Anyway, that was from Bleeding Cool. Definitely check out Bleeding Cool and Bounding Into Comics are two pretty fun websites. I'm gonna take a look at the tweets that have caused all this, but I'll keep this video short, so I'll just end this one here. Like, comment, and subscribe.